seconds. He throws up a three. He backed it in! The second banked in three tonight!
From the 19th pick in the 2023 draft to one of the most important players on the Golden State Warriors last season, Brandon Podziemski is in a great position for a sophomore surge this season. In today's film review, we're going to go over why Brandon Podziemski is really going to be the highlight of the Warriors next season and why he's going to take that all-star leap that we might have expected Kuminga to. This summer league, he showcased some of his best abilities and some big improvements he made in his game. You'll see right here in this clip that Brandon Podziemski essentially drives into the paint and kind of basically makes it so that all 5 Houston defenders are basically concentrated on him. And this isn't easy because he is an undersized guard, and that has been really a weak point for him throughout not only last year, but specifically last year's play-in game. And I think that's something he's going to have to deal with and kind of overcome as he kind of plays a little bit more. But what you see here as we play this clip kind of a little bit more is Brandon Podziemski gives a nice pass out. They kind of do a pass around here, but Brandon Podziemski already is essentially locating himself in the corner right here. So right here, he gets the pass here, and he's really pretty open from 3. And I think most of the time, last year specifically, he would have taken this 3 ball. Last year, his 3 ball wasn't great. He was well below 38%, which is about league average. But in college, what is, a little bit of a point of emphasis, I think, this season, he shot above 40% from the 3-point line. And so I think the 3s are going to be important as an evolution to his game. But right here, he fakes out the defender, and you see right here, small guards hesitate to kind of finish in these types of positions. We have 2 larger men for sure going up and potentially being able to contest him up here at the rim, but Brandon Podziemski essentially doesn't see them, and so he's going to kind of go right here and finish easily and get that easy 2-point bucket. And that's something we definitely want to see from Podziemski in the future. Just see him kind of rise, see him draw defenders, see him go to the 3-point line and make shots, and then also drive when necessary. I think a big point of emphasis this year is that Brandon Podziemski can't only be a play finisher, but he needs to be a play creator. And right there, he made the play in the paint to get the passes. They kind of passed it around a little bit, and then he made another play to basically make it so that he used the closeout that was coming towards him and was able to take advantage of it. So right here, you see this pass ahead right to Brandon Podziemski. His defender is in pretty good position, kind of shading him away from the baseline specifically. I think he's trying to make sure that we can have all of these players here kind of come, dive in, and kind of help a little bit, specifically from Chicago, to make sure that, he has a little bit of help. But Brandon does a nice job, and this step-back 3 game is something that he definitely did not use last year, and he honestly probably didn't even have in his bag. And I think getting more comfortable in taking and making those tough shots is really going to take him to the next level. He needs to be able to make and take those regularly if he's really going to get to that all-star ceiling that I think he might be able to get to next year. Now right here, you're going to see Brandon Podziemski kind of out in the wing position. He's well open from 3, and it seems like they're playing sort of a pseudo-zone type of defense right here, essentially kind of trying to collapse on the paint to make sure that this drive doesn't work out too well for the Golden State Warriors. But Brandon Podziemski last year wasn't, as I mentioned, the greatest 3-point shooter in the world last year. But what you're going to see here is there's a nice kick-out pass that's made, and I think we have this defender here from the Rockets thinking, oh wait, he's probably not going to shoot this. I'm pretty close to him. I mean, there definitely is a length away, but that's the type of shot like a knockdown shooter would take. And I think that's what we're hoping, that Podziemski becomes that knockdown shooter. Right here, he kind of does the up fake, and it seems like number 14 is really able to close out to him quite well. And there's not a lot of operating space here, if you notice. There's a defender kind of basically cutting him off from getting to the rim. There's a defender basically making sure that he stays and hugs the baseline. So this is a really tough position for somebody like Brandon Podziemski, who doesn't really have the athletic advantage over any of these players. And they kind of trap him right here against the baseline. It looks like a tough position. But Brandon Podziemski makes this awesome pass right here to this wide open defender right inside the lane and is able to kind of obviously get that easy score. And that court vision is definitely something that we're going to see from Brandon next season specifically, just because he's definitely going to be used in that point guard role more, especially with Steph Curry out there, probably using him more as a shooting guard, especially with no Klay Thompson out there. And I think him moving into that point guard role is going to be key if he wants to get that sophomore surge and wants to get that playing time that he definitely deserves. So in this play right here, we have Brandon Podziemski kind of out by the wing. Once again, he's kind of setting up by the 3-point line, but number 15 seems pretty intent on essentially splitting the difference between these two players. But there's a lot of room between them, so this is definitely a tough defensive assignment after a breakdown. And that's a great pass, kind of fakes it out here. But the defender was pretty alert and made sure to kind of close out more to Podziemski, knowing he's probably the star. And this guy definitely well over 6'7". Definitely tries to close out to Podziemski at first, and Podziemski doesn't have a good handle on the ball. I think he didn't expect that pass at all either. But he gets the ball and is guarded pretty well here. I mean, we have two people in the paint right here. We have another guy coming over, and we have this defender who kind of realizes Brandon Podziemski's coming down. And Brandon Podziemski isn't known for his athleticism, but he does a nice job here of sucking in the defense, making sure that everyone kind of pays attention to him, and then gives a nice kick-out pass for an eventual three, and that's butter. And that's what we want to see from Brandon Podziemski, especially as we go into next season from him. Right here, we have Brandon Podziemski kind of coming up here on an out-of-bounds play, and you see he's going to try to get the ball, and they do a nice job of essentially trying to face guard him, but Brandon Podziemski does a nice job of cutting down and making it so that this guy who is top blocking him basically is going to be on the back foot as soon as he catches the ball. It's a great ball. He's up in front, and so this shot blocker has to essentially commit to blocking this shot. But Brandon Podziemski does a nice job of essentially doing a nice Euro step and then doing an up and under. Magnificent shot, and something that he's definitely going to have to do in the regular season, because there's going to be oftentimes where there is that shot blocker in place, and he's going to need to go around them. Overall, though, it's clear that Brandon Podziemski, by working on his three-point shot, working on his isolation game, and also utilizing his newfound point guard skills that he's really refined to work specifically with Steph Curry in the regular season, are going to be key in him becoming the all-star and enjoying this sophomore surge that many sophomore players enjoy. For more info on Brandon Podziemski, the Warriors in general, or just general film review, please like and subscribe at our channel, The Clear Path Hoops. Thanks you guys for watching.
There's your 20 points.
This is Podziemski. Are you starting to understand why everybody likes this kid? Brandon Podziemski is a baller.
Just getting that shot off was impressive with 2 seconds left. And